Okay, all right. Welcome to Ours Okay podcast, and today we were taking it a few steps back, man. It's been a young craziness from the other episodes. How about relax? I mean, hey, the drizzle, what? It's enough now. Let's just. But in the relaxation, you know what I mean? So what had happened was. Yeah, what had happened was I was going to see a friend, for lack of a better don. So shout out to Eddie, if you know, you know.
That was the vision that I had. You were asking me, can I tell people how we met?
Are you serious?
Yes. That was the actual vision. So when you sent me that text, I was like, man, okay, sorry.
Now I'm tripping. So yeah, I was at 80s. We're there just chilling, and then here comes somebody, and then somebody. We just like, hey, how you doing? Good, young situation where we vibing, and then we ended up speaking about all sorts of things, including spirituality. And I was like, whoa, I want this conversation on the podcast at some point in time, because it's a serious conversation, and there's stuff that we can demystify, others that we can confirm, and others we could have an aha moment. And I'm hoping that is the situation vandaag. So without any further ado, my guest, please introduce yourself and tell us how beautiful you are.
Hello, hi. Ke Mmamuso Ditlhakanyane. I'm from the Val Triangle. 18, Italy.
Okay.
That's yeah. Tell us about yourself is such a question I really know how to answer handle. But born and bred in the Val, came to Joburg for a few years, made some money here. Gauteng, yeah, so I'm back in the Val teaching.
Okay.
That's something that has been difficult for me to actually accept. That's my purpose, to teach. Also make a living from that, because and so it's not giving me the amount of money that I used to make, but I keep being redirected back to. So I've learned to accept that's my calling, to teach. That's my purpose. And looking at my lineage and what they used to do, that's what they did. My mother was a teacher. We've got from a family of teachers, and it comes so naturally. Yeah, so that's me. Smolanyana, brief.
How do you know that's your purpose?
It was revealed to me, and because of how it comes so naturally to me, I've and looking at so I go into astrology and looking at my birth chart and whatnot. That's one of my strengths, and that is one of the jobs that I can do well in, careers I can build something concrete in. Yeah.
So just to bring people into context here. So you are a Christian-ish.
I use the church for some spiritual stuff.
Wow. Which one is this one?
I use the church for some spiritual stuff. Because of how Christianity was put on them, they were forced. It was forced on them. So so they had to learn to do things in using Christianity. So that's their path at some point. That is why at some point you have to go at some point so I know what Christianity is. I understand that structure and what it was used for. That's why I go that way, and that's it.
Man, isn't that like expropriation without compensation?
Yes.
Straight up?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't go to church on Sundays.
Right.
You won't haki apare seaparo sa kerekeng that people go to every Sunday. That's not what I do. I go and do. There's processes of people who say, but I'm manalingstonya, like buporofita. Yes, buporofita. I go to those. Can we say a process? What can we call it? I go to those sessions and attend that fail. I don't go to church on Sundays because I don't believe that Jesus is a person that was on earth who did all those things. For me, Jesus, it's a Christ consciousness type thing. It's more of a he wasn't an actual person. It's just something in you that you have to go, we say this thing so that you can be conscious and yeah.
Okay, let's dial it back a bit because now I like that you're mentioning how you use Christianity almost like a tool.
Yes.
Right? So what is it or what are you in order for you to be able to use a tool? So before we get to the tools, if someone had to ask you, okay, what are you? Are you a Sangoma? Are you a Christian? Are you a person who's just into spirituality full stop? And if that's the case, what does that entail?
I'm a person who's been revealed or the ability to pray for people and they can heal. And I've been shown the various ways that it can be done. There's spiritual elements to it and there's Christian elements to it. It's a whole the Christian way because that is how Manyelo Yaka used it, so I have to use it that way. That is why whenever I heal, it's through water or with a candle.
Hectic.
So I'm kitsamiswa ke badimo ke na le manyelo. I've been taught universal stuff. I've been taught spiritual stuff. There's the moon. There's the sun. There's Jesus there in it. Go fail.
So right now you could be dealing with me with this water.
So yeah,
okay.
all of, because even with like the Asian stuff, I literally go to a lady there in Ethel. It's called singing bowl therapy. She'll like put singing bowls all over me and like do a gong.
Really?
I tap into that. I meditate to Buddha and that type of music. That's what I meditate to. And those it's like a pan drum type thing. I dabble into different religions and use their elements to just meditate and yeah.
My question then is that allowed? Because when it's similar to the conversations about sexuality, where we look at it in a very singular way. It's either or, that's it. There's nothing in between. But then we are now being taught that there's different kinds of sexuality that we need to understand. Now with this, I don't know, thing, for a lack of a better word, it seems like you can do multiple and enter into multiple streams of spirituality without being conflicted. Really?
Because le meriana sud kia I'm able to know, okay, motho ha hana le bofokodi bo itseng ho nkuwa ntho tse tjena di a kopantshwa wa di rapedisa ntho tse o di fa motho o a di sebetse o yo fola. I go to ditlhare, so di bitswa ditlhare because ke ntho ke setlhare o se fumana, it's a natural thing, and whether you boil it, you crush it, o tla nthola ke le mantse ke tula ke a tula ka tlung ka mane. So it's various different elements. Ke metsi ke kerese le ditlhare, and I've been taught all of them, and I'm someone that apparently I'm a self-initiate because I did not go haona mo ke tshwasitseng teng, haona gobele ke na leng yena. It's my angels ke badimo ba ka that have taught me these things through speaking to me through dreams. And they'll send me they will explain to you, and I'll go and I'll learn. Oh, I said such an antwen. Oh, I said such an. I've always had. I call them my spiritual mentors. I've got spiritual mentors across these different elements, and they're the ones I'll go seek advice from. But never for them to. If there's one thing that's always been clear, hakatlameo okamelo. That's why nkasiki otwas. because a gobela wants you to bow down to them, and I don't do that. I don't bow down to them because I am royalty. I can't. That is why I keep pizza khoshigadi. And these are things that have just been revealed to me. No one it's my actual people who have revealed to how this is it. They speak to me. They show me in dreams, and I have conversations with them.
Hold on. Okay, so first part then is, now I understand how it's not linear, neither were you taught. Because that's one of the questions also I would have wanted to know, or how do you even get into something? A lot of the times, whether it be a career, there's always a reference point.
Yes.
So for your reference point it's not that it was passed down from generation to generation by whoever it is. It was communicated to you via dreams.
Yes.
Was that not scary?
Yeah.
Like, did you not think you're going cray-cray?
Yeah. I've been through it. I've been through SHIT.
Wild.
It's especially like if I'm in a relationship and you're lying to me. There's a film that is playing out. So film.
Like, not even like a whispering, check 07 mang 66.
And they'll, if to confirm, it's either from your side, or I'm going to bump into you to confirm what was shown to me.
Okay, but how do you feel me? Like, what? Like, give us like an incident. Well, it doesn't have to be as
Yeah.
But like, what would it be like? And this is during your dream, I'm assuming, like while you're sleeping.
It could be. It also sometimes happens like when I'm awake. It can be like a vision. You can daydream. Yes, but it's an actual thing.
So see bastard. He's going there into
and then
Ban's room.
And then nah, bro. I'm telling live on my balloon. Yeah, now speeding.
So does it happen legit?
It always happens.
So like, so is it one of the things that you confess before dating? If a person is interested, like, listen, don't try me,
dude, don't.
And they will still try you.
Yeah, of course.
And they find out.
Hey, you gonna find out with me.
So when that happened, like the very first time when you started getting these visions, like, were you properly freaked out, or were you like, oh, okay, this is interesting?
I always found as a child, whatever that I dreamed would happen. And I like being alone, but to listen to these voices. Before it was voices, it starts out as like mulodi. Because then there was always just, when your ears go deaf nyana, but there's like tsui happening. It started like that. And through tuning in and going through, processes, it started becoming actual whispers, and now it's like clear voices. And the voices then started introducing themselves. But this is happening over from 2000. This thing started out, I think, when I was in high school, because every now and then there'd be signs to go to mucho tlamla lo twas or whatever, and then tlamlo etomketo, hey, she's still young, it's always been clear, but it became evidently clear when I was as an adult, once I'd graduated and I think started working. When I tlamla yo twas, when I get lo twasis. So it'd be like the signs of motatlamla twas bo. But I'd never faint in front of people, though. Okay. It's the just fainting, and it's the dreams. It's sort of preempting something that will happen, knowing instinctively, this person, so, and I could feel. I could sit here, and I could feel you've got a pain somewhere. I'm going to get the pain somewhere. I'm going to feel like, and then it would happen to you, and I'd feel, okay, I'm picking up this thing that, yeah. It was a series of that where I'd be like, hey, yeah, there's something here. Yeah. There's
a lot that's happening in my mind. Then I got spiritual gifts. How do you feel about people who wouldn't want to get into this? And I'm putting it in a very crude way to say they want to get into it, whereas in some cases it's not about want, it's a calling.
Yeah.
So let's say from an ordinary perspective, a person who's just looking at what's happening in the world, etc. And then all of a sudden they jump out of the bandwagon.
Yeah.
For us, it looks like, this was staged. Because if you are really telling us this entire process of hearing things, hearing voices, you can't then, I'm assuming, just decide to stop it.
Yeah, no.
So how do you feel when you see stuff like that?
I wish they understood. They don't understand. Or the journey I'm doing is hard. It's human, harder. Because there are things that must happen to you for you to learn, because your patience are going to come to you with whatever it is that you experience so that you can heal them. You go through. So because also so healing energy is essentially sexual energy. So you'll have, you'll have men that are drawn to you. So people that are drawn to an empath, it's not necessarily them, it's the angel saying, we need help and here's the light. Ambulance that can take me to the healing, that can take me to the hospital, right? So these people that are attracted by wanting to be a healer, they don't understand the shit that we go through. Shit. So, and we go through it so that we can be able to heal the people that will be sent to us. So you look at them and be like, hey, do you know, okay, your family, because they want this thing. They're jealous. Okay, why did they pick you? So because you are chosen, you're naturally protected. You'll never die. You can't die because who's going to then carry this thing? You can want to commit suicide. You can be in a car accident. I don't know, Shanix. Or cannot tola blackout and nothing's going to. You will drive that car in that blackout. How close? Because you must do this thing for them. You are in relationships, you've got friends around you, you've got male friends who will rape you because they want access to this thing. They feel attracted to you because their angel is saying, here's healing. And men always mistake the attraction of their angel saying, here's healing, for sexual. So they'll be attracted to you in a love situation. They can't have access to you because when this person, rape. Then friends, backstabbing, what, because they just like, every time I'm with this person, jealous. Relationshiping, because if you fall too much in love, you're going to leave their path. They're going to fuck up that relationship because why? You must go do this thing. There's people that hate you because they're just like, why is this person just arrives, things happen. I've been here for years. I've been trying to do something. Motor just comes and it happens seamlessly. And then you have someone that looks at you and be like, man, things just happen for this person. I want to do this. Because that's the life that I want. Because also, looking at me, apparently I look rich. I'm waiting for that money. You've got this natural glow, people think you're rich, people want, and they want access to you, and you're trying to protect yourself because you know at some point you're attracted to me now because you want to be my friend, because you know that things can happen, but my people are gonna come and fuck up the whole thing because you can't be too much in relationships, you can't do too much at work, you can't be too much in this. So when you were attracted to me, or you were attracted to wanting to be gifted, but you don't understand what we go through. We go through a lot.
Hold on. You said healing also, I don't know, you said if it also comes with, or it is part of a sexual component.
Yes.
Yeah.
Healing, so hare, how ka shebisa baruti o kai moruti tlamle a febe. Baruti kila bona ke difeba kere. Baruti banal nawa. The reason why healers are supposed to either be married to one person or just not be married at all is because this thing idutsikai mon.
Oh.
You must channel this thing to be able to heal someone. So when you how samamelo osate, you're just gonna be like, hey man, I've got the sexual urge, and otletsang ogina una le batho bangata. Baruti when they are not structured. Hey. So that is why a lot of how ka sheba dingaka tsa kgale ne ba sa nyale kapa ne ba sa nyalwe. Because you must take this thing and channel it to heal people.
So when you see like clips of pastors saying that I'm healing this person through sexual, because sometimes they will tell, hey, look, if you want healing, let's have sex.
Yes.
So are you saying that? Hold on. So you're saying that, is that a possibility? Is that a way? One of few ways to actually heal somebody, to have sex with them?
Yes.
Yes.
So, if I don't know if you've ever come across a spiritual person actually had sex with them, it's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing. Because muthunana ntwe dutsing mo ho yena e ka o etsetsa ntho tse ngata. When you're having sex and you're orgasming and you're having an orgasm, that's the actual point where you can manifest. There are many people who, if they know the process of manifestation, so especially like Latin people, you are able to go get yourself to the point where you're almost about to, and then that's where you're going to channel to manifest with this power. I'm channeling it here. This is what I want.
What?
Yes. If you look at tantric sex and Kama Sutra, if you actually just go in and delve into it, it's actually that. It's taking you and this partner, and because we know that when we are there, when we are climax, this is what we're envisioning because this is what we want. We're manifesting this thing. Sexual energy is healing energy. So, but when you're supposed to take it and then, transmute it into healing. So, mutafol.
But okay, well, but do you still orgasm or you?
Yes, you choose. So, one of two ways.
Okay.
To harness it and be able to store it, and you waikisa to the point it's part of creating discipline around it. You get yourself almost to that point, that's what you do. You must get yourself to that point, right? It's part of you building it up, and then you must get to a point eventually where you're going to then so it's called transmutation. You change the form of this thing into this healing so that you can be able to heal.
Is this for everybody or specific people?
Specific.
And then how do you know that you can? And then what if you want to?
If you want to, it's a process of doing research, and you can research this thing.
Yeah. No, the reason why I'm asking is because Kevin Gates,
okay,
right? He's big into spirituality. Before he used to be one of those hardcore rappers and thugs of but then he changed his way and his approach, and he became extremely spiritual. And he was talking about it. There was a term that he used, and I suppose it's maybe that you mentioned, where you go up until climax, but you don't go fully. You just stop it. And then I saw this on one of the interviews there in America, and the guy was asking, but how's that even pleasurable? And then he was saying something about how, it is. It's okay. He was saying something about how it is pleasurable. You can get to that point, and then stop yourself, but still feel the pleasure. How so?
Hey, I get to wrong.
Like, and then I just want to get into the mechanics of how does it work. Okay, sharp one. Let's say we understand that you do that thing, you're about to climax, you just decide to stop, you start manifesting. So I'm assuming that you've already thought about what you want.
Yes.
So by that point, when you get to that level, is that you just start thinking about what you want again?
Intention is always important before.
All right.
It's always important to set the intention before. You can only bring someone into it if this person whites about this thing. Otherwise, you just wait only one masturbation, right? So you set the intention and you are clear on what it is that we are going for. Then you start. You start visualizing. It's either you're visualizing or you're going to be saying affirmations of sort, or you're going to be reading something aloud. because you are at a certain frequency at that point. So you need to get to a certain frequency to be able to manifest. That is why they take shrooms, because at that frequency you are able to then manifest and do this thing. So it's either you are visualizing, there's a certain meditation that you can do then that elongates actually. There's certain frequencies that you can listen to when you're there that will elongate this thing, that frequency, where that pleasure that you're in, to be able to stay in that zone longer, to be able to attain this visualize or whatever. Yeah.
Jeez. But I'm just so caught on the fact that you're saying that it's a healing.
Yes.
And I'm inclined to believe, although, like, to be honest, it's been, hey, listen, if I can't see it, it doesn't exist.
Yes, true.
But then I've gotten to understand these things like your ayahuascas and how a person can go through that process and become changed because they experience something entirely different. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that we have, is that if we don't know of it, have seen it, and it's going to be hard for us to believe in it. But then when you speak to people who are quite spiritual, it's like it's Bible to them.
Yeah.
The way we see a table is the way they see it in the spiritual realm.
So this thing, some women and some men. That is why they'll constantly target spiritual people to be in sexual relationships or mental or romantic relationships with them, because they know, when I sleep with this one, when I'm in a relationship with this one and I sleep, very important to sleep with, they know this.
But then what happens to the guy or the girl or the victim? For like does anything spiritually change with them? Do they lose, I don't know, brownie spiritual points or something? Like, what happens to them?
Not really, because that energy is constantly replenishing. But when you will feel, if you remember when Jesus was walking through in a town of some sort, there was a lady who came and touched his garment, and he said, but you feel like, man, it's always a take, and there's never me also getting back. You can feel yourself being depleted when you're with this person. And that's when you start to interrogate and ask your clan, or, hey man, story saying, because
have you ever walked into a room and felt, there's an energy that's real negative?
Happens all the time. That's why that's why we isolate a lot and don't go into those particular rooms. You choose, you can already assess the type of crowd that will be. Then you automatically know there will be someone in that room. I once went to a seminar thing called Yadi Business, called Emperor's Palace. A very well-known prophet done a channel, a TV program on a channel there. Lena, I knew. He's like, someone just walked in, and I made sure I sit at the back. But I could feel him there in front, and clearly he could feel me at the back. There was a point where he stood up and walked to the front, and as he's looking through the crowd, and I was looking down, but as he was approaching, I could feel him. And he's looking through the crowd. He's looking for this energy. I was like, I need to bounce.
Really?
I need to bounce. Because as he was approaching, I felt this huge snake coming.
Damn!
I was like, yeah, I can't. And I was like, I had a laptop bag. Because as he's looking, I'm like, no.
Why is it a snake though?
I don't know. So I think it has to do with totems as well, or But for him, it was this, because I felt this. I was like, here's the snake coming. Because when I look, because I was like, there's a snake approaching. A huge, it was heavy. And it was him. I was like, hey, he's looking for me.
Okay, is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, okay, how I probably would have, I mean, look, this is a very, how I vision is like if I'm going to a new town and then
Yeah.
and then maybe it gets like, it's, let's say different situations. I'll be drawn to that person. Hey, yo, what's up? So I'm thinking that it should probably be the same, that, hey, spiritual recognizes spiritual. It doesn't work like that.
If a person is part of your tribe and you're supposed to connect, I will feel safe. I will feel drawn to you. Yeah. I won't want to repel. So as soon as I walked in, I was like, there's something here. I don't know what it is. And I could feel it in mine, right? So I checked crowd. I get she mut. And when I was walking and he looked back, I was like, he's clocked me too. And if he confirmed it by standing up and trying to come and look for me.
Okay, but what's the beef then?
There's no beef. So people like that, they like pure, and I'm not saying pure souls because I'm saying I'm pure, but they like Moya Oja because I've come to understand that we're very powerful. People always seek that because they want to be near you. There's something that they know they can attain with you. Instead of because we say this thing because they know how powerful you are. So they want to use you. They want to use you in some sort of way. So you just never open yourself up to that. Yeah.
What happens if you, let's say you assume that you might have these powers, but you don't know.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like running away from it, right? But everyone can say, dude, like you have dreams. And then it seems like these dreams always happen. It means that then the person to some degree is spiritually gifted. What happens when you don't harness that gift? So like I know actually somebody who has dreams. She would have dreams and these things would happen, right? But it will happen like once in a while, not all the time. And her first thing is just to say, yeah, it happens, but whatever, but doesn't take it any further. What happens then? Would your matlozis come through and say, hey, yo, listen, we gave you time. It's time for you to recognize.
It depends. There are people that can make you dream particular dreams because of something they're trying to get you to be in a space about low trusties or whatnot. Then there's just people whose intuition works like that. It's not but they just periodically show them and it doesn't mean that, and that's another thing where it's now seen Hotwasi is now a business because Mutajal man.
Oh yeah.
Every now and then and it shows banale. They'll be like, oh, just be aware of this. Here's a warning. Here's something we want to do for you. Man, because the people can't come across. So whatever. And it doesn't mean mutu tlamla lotwasa. Ki a person yena je bongwing by babono, they can use them as a vessel for messages every now and then sporadically. Whatever. But now how yena ka lo consult tutlot seba mo apesa masela. Seba o apesa masela, seba o rekisa dishiti o so kena le fehlo. Ha o qeta o twasa o butsi ndoba batho ba ke hoba nono sa rongwa setjhabeng inele for wena your protection, your family, your unit fail.
Jeez. If you're a doctor, then you have people who are trying to get advice, free advice. If you're a lawyer, a legal matter, help me out. If you're an accountant, check my books. Do you get people who typically always come to you and say, hey, listen, there's this person, I just want you to, or maybe I just sent my application for this job. Can you make sure that they see it?
So the one, I've got a friend who always uses me for dream interpretation. How I got to know, it's not even a me thing, me interpreting. So they call me, tell me the dream, and as they're telling me the dream, my team will be like, oh, okay, so, and then I convey it. Oh, no, so, and then, and then there's a guy, he came, he had just lost his job, and he was looking for another job. I was like, okay. But he expressed that as what? Because remember, I said some people can't discern, or it's their angel just saying, go seek. This person came with a romantic interest. But I understood. And I was bored at the time because I was not in a relationship at the time. I was like, But you're not supposed to do that though. As an empath, and you can't sleep. Yeah, no.
But you be helping them spiritually through sex. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that one I did. And he got a job.
Did he get a job?
Yeah. I got a job.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, of course, people always use you, call you Gogo. As soon as, so you, and it's people that know me, right? If it's a friendly conversation, I'll be like, hey, whatever. But Gogo, I'm like,
you know where it's going.
Yeah, you need something.
What is one of the most craziest spiritual encounters you've ever been in?
When I was on shrooms.
Really?
Shucks. I've been able to heal trauma through those trips. It was wild. So I'd done research on shrooms for like 2 years before I went to the pharmacy.
Okay, right. Yeah.
So, and they kept telling me, no, do this thing. And I've seen, people online, they'll be like, no, you need someone to be there to facilitate the process. And they were like, you don't need that. Just go get that stuff. And they created the setting. They made my mom go away. I was home alone.
Who's they?
My team. I've got a team.
You said they earlier on, eh?
Yes.
It didn't register. And I was like, I'll ask. Like, so when you say they, it's
my grandfather. It's my grandfather, maternal grandfather.
Okay.
It's Nkgono o ke reletsweng ka yena, Nkgono Mmamuso. Then there's Ntate Mole. He was actually quite I don't know, not so guy, but Ntate Mole from lapeng la Nkgono ke reletsweng ka yena. And then there's this gogo. Apparently ke yena o tlamile ke twasik, but mzovu sumoz wake. And then it's her. Yeah, so those four. Yeah. And then Mona. So this is they're the ones Bamfanditaba. Yeah. Then there's my maternal grandmother who's married to, she's my protectant. She's part of my protection. Like I've got a temper.
Okay.
I'm okay. I'm like a very amazing person. We can get along. But there's Tello. Disrespect. Yeah. I go from 0 to 1,000 and it's her.
Okay.
Yes. As soon as I start drinking, she comes and she stands here. You go left, I'm going to go all the way left, way past you. So I've got a team. They like to kibona babuandin to tsena ka ditsebentak. Kibona ba mpontshang.
Wow.
So yeah.
So you never feel alone?
I'm never alone. I like to be alone actually. There are people that like to say they talk alone. They have like I'm never talking alone. I'm talking to somebody. I'm like, Mamela man, wetsala so wetsala mo. And I know who to. And it took years though to get to that point where it went from whistling to sort of like on radio when you are looking when you're looking for to that, and then to whispers, and whispers that I couldn't quite make out. It's like a to words, just words, and then to full on conversations. Then I had to go and be like, guys, Kimang, who are you? Then they came and they introduced themselves. Nakimama.
Really?
Yes. So that's why I'm able to know who it is. Now I know, but all along with those other snakes, it was just voices. Up until I was like, I need to know who it is though. Kimang. So now that's how I know. And it gets about ona kwai ing. Yeah.
Okay, so we're at the shrooms. The venue has been set up. Your mother's not in the house. You went and procured the shrooms from the pharmacy. You then proceed to
ingest
the shroom.
Yeah. So
are you sitting on the floor? Are you on the bed?
I'm sitting in the kitchen table.
Okay.
Yeah. So because I was, of course, they'll tell you, advise you dosage at the pharmacy. So when I'm sitting here, I'm like, let me just take like half a gram. And then my grandma was like, hey, you're wasting time here. We said go by, and we said we're going to be here. We said we're going to facilitate. What's happening?
Wow.
Okay, half a Kenya mo. So I'm like,
yeah.
So I take like another one, so it's like 2 grams. Now I'm like, honey, ingest.
Shots.
Then I went and I lay down on my bed. So initially there's like a twitching type thing that happens. It's like involuntary movement and twitching up until that settles down. And then, and it came to me, good to know, here we're letting go. In this twitching, we're letting go. So then I started speaking what I'm letting go of. Letting go of this and this experience, how this made me feel, and that's when I don't know. It's like in the Matrix, on Alamo, Neo's in a passage. It's like different doors. It keeps opening doors, and it was like that. But I had already set the intention of what it is that I want. Hence, it was clear, and I knew which doors I'm going into. Yeah, I went into memories, and it's like, so. If you've ever heard of the term Akashic records. Everybody, so Kellola is like this computer that has this enormous storage of every single thing that has ever happened. So, and I'm talking from detail to temperature of the day. There were birds in the background, tablecloth, everything that was in that room. I went into memories that I didn't even think affected me. You know, everything, but there was something my mom did in that room that caused this thing for me. And it was like multiple things so I kept going into these rooms. I'd go into the room, experience everything, and be like, oh, so this is what she said that made me feel this way. Go in, and I'd go in and be like, Tato, I'm sorry this happened to you. I forgive you, Tato, for what happened. Mama, I forgive you. I close the room, I go into a different one. Whatever that happened, they go through it. Like, oh, so this is what it was. Tato, I'm sorry that I made you go through that. Aski said, forgive me. Close the door. And I kept just going into the rooms that I needed to go into. And after that, I came out of that. I laughed for a good 30 minutes.
Really?
I was, yes.
So this was almost like your generational trauma healing?
Yes.
Of mushrooms?
Yes. And I understood that is what, and so afterwards I said, this is what we wanted for you. You've done certain healings. There's rituals you can do now in this here realm, right? And then there's others where you need to go into a different realm and go, there's the healing needs to take place there. And they said, we had done the rituals here, but we needed you to go there because we needed you to clear that for Moriang. Yeah. That was wild.
So would you ever recommend people to?
1,000%.
Okay.
But if you don't have a team that can facilitate this thing for you, you need to go to someone, because there are people that can go in and not know how to come back. Yeah, I've read of stories where people went and took shrooms. The pharmacist.
Yeah.
Pharmacist.
Pharmacist, yeah.
Mamela. what do you want? What are your intentions? Because that's how they can know which shrooms to give you. I was like, what? Because I can give you something. It's like how can you man? How to So like people who always like to be high, they like to be high because they like that part. They like, but in essence, you need to come back to reality, guys. So there's people. So people who have bad trips.
Yeah.
They have bad trips because you went into this thing for fun. There was no intention. You didn't use it as a medicine. Because at the end of the day, this thing is a psychedelic. It can take you anywhere. So that is why we can drink it just for hydration. But I can take it and I can turn it into a healing thing for you. And then it's like how
So you pray over it. So.
Yes. So the psychedelics need to be told, because you can tell anything to do anything. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And also in any case in Genesis, God created everything using the Word. So you must tell this thing. You can take a psychedelic and it's just a psychedelic. You can take ecstasy, LSD, you can go clubbing, have a great time. And that's what you used it for. But you can take it and tell it, how can I 1, 2, 3, and it will do exactly that because you've commanded it to do so. So a person needs to understand that. Hey, this thing can either be something for fun, I can just take a drug, or instead of it being called a drug, I can tell it what to do and it's going to do exactly that. So if people don't know that, they'd rather get someone who can definitely facilitate it and do that, who will do it for them. Then they'll be able to help them. And they'll be able to also help you come back. Because you can get lost, come on. You get lost, because you get lost in there. If yeah, that's why people have bad trips.
Why specifically there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come back and be like, I had a bad trip. No babala.
Yeah.
No babala.
So now, if you had to suggest somebody, somebody's out there watching this, right? And look, the pharmacy. There's a lot of pharmacies now.
Yes.
There's a lot of pharmacies, and you might find the person has, like everyone else, generational trauma that they want to deal with. Because I'm trying to see this from a different perspective, over and above just saying, here's a showcase of somebody explaining, or talking about their experiences, but then rather to say, okay, let's talk about how we can then assist each other. So a person has generational trauma, maybe things are not going so well. What would you suggest they should start at?
Because Christianity is just something that's close to people and it's the closest process they know, they must pray.
Okay.
Pray to Mudimu Wahao. And it's important, I always say that, not to God. So pray to your God. Call your maternal and your paternal side and say, I need help. Where should I go? And with time, it will be revealed. That's the first thing. But a person who is maybe in tune, gets dreams every now and then, and pray to your however way in your family, go to the river. If you're a person that goes to the river and be like, guys, I need help. Surely, 1000%, they're going to show you where to go. If it's not a social media post that will come up, because the universe communicates in various ways, there will be someone that will come to you. Hey, man, or you'll see something on TV. There will be something, a sign, a person, you going somewhere. Something's going to happen that will bring you to your path. Because your clan knows which is the safest path for you to find healing. They know. you can find someone that can take you to a church. You can find yourself bumping into someone who a conversation will spark up and they will give you pekuya how. In your dreams, you can be showed. Someone in your family will come and call you, be like, hey man, whatever, something will happen. So it's either wa rapela, if that's your thing, rapela to Modimo wa call Modimo waka, Modimo wa bontata waka, Modimo wa bomme waka. Ke bitsa wena mama papa nkgono o ba bitse ka mabitso because wa ba tseba ke kopa le kopaneng. Something's not going well in my life. I need help. Show me. Very important. Show me. Buang le nna mponse. And you must say, tell me in a language I can understand. Because if you don't say, how understand you? Therefore, you're going to need someone. And sometimes people interpret things very differently. If you take your dream and or if you someone to apostle, close like a chiso, close like a wait a mokiti, or chiso what? If you tell a traditional person, just like I'm Kate, so it depends. Well, because people interpret it very differently based on what they are working with. So it's very important to say, explain it to me in layman's terms so that I can understand. Explain it to me. Don't give me angel numbers. Don't give me synchronicities. Don't give me an omen. It could be a cat. It could be a butterfly. Don't give me an omen. Give it to me so that I can understand. Because they could send a sign, a butterfly could fly past, and you won't know. Until that was the omen. It could be the cat, but because that was the omen, that was the sign. So tell it to me in a way, without a doubt, this is your message from you.
Jeez.
You need to be specific. This general prayers, don't do general prayers. Be explicit. Explicit, isn't it? For various reasons. There must be blurred lines. Be explicit. Tsanela mutarapela munna ka pamsadi. Abare ke kupa munna. Beba mutlise.
Okay.
Ba mutlise.
Yeah.
In a package you don't like. Wizo batla munna.
Kyo.
Explicit ke batla munna chena abe bo emombo chena buchen. A rapele badimo ka pa rapele modimo. A rapele aye kerekeng ebe motho chena. He must know how to raise kids this way because he can come and then you're going to clash on parenting, for instance. Be explicit. Abe chena kala ya ebe chena height ebe chena abe motlenyana aska kenya dibrele like batla motho kenya dibrele so it's very important. Use the word. When you communicate with the word and your intention is there, surely okay tsiba karabo etlotla.
And then what if a person wants to dabble into your pharmacies in order to
research,
bring in the spiritual?
Yeah, very important. Yeah. Do thorough research from different sources. Don't always go to one person because you never know mutual intention in the information that they're giving you. Omon could be giving information because they're just trying to do a sale. Research from different sources. Read a book. Ask someone who's been doing this for years. Ask someone who's used this. Research online. Read papers. There's white papers. There's things. There's a plethora of information. Make sure so that the source is valid. The source is trustworthy. Do that. Do your research, and so that you have conviction over the decision to use a particular thing and know that you will be protected when you're using it. So because because as soon as you speak, that is why dingakadu fanto di ga o fitla o rapele.
Damn.
Where rapelanto you commanded. Otherwise, I and I commandile it lets and two and anything yet. We now fit on so slapper fella. Oh, let's allow to tato am dressing ya. Very important. Just people need to zone in and meditate, man. Listen, you Your body knows how to communicate with you. Just be quiet and be still. People you like to be outside listening to, and just be still. Your body will always communicate to you. You know, what is it that you need?
How important is meditation aligning your spirituality and self?
When I haven't meditated in a while, I'll see how I'm emotionally reacting.
Okay.
Yeah, when I'm reacting emotionally to certain things, when I'm throwing a tantrum, and things irritate me, I know, hey, I'm off balance. Very important to center yourself, very, very, so that you approach things from a logical point and know when to use emotional, because you're able to have discernment when you're clear. Motas nantemo, a person who doesn't have discernment, you've centered. You're able to look at something and look at it from all different perspectives. It's not a me. How do I feel about you deciding to go to a wedding without Devin telling me where I went? So,
got you.
when you need to have discernment, meditation gives you discernment. Whenever you're in something, you're able to look at it for what it is. You're able to dissect this thing logically, so without personalizing, without internalizing. What is this thing? How did this person react? Why did they react like this? Okay. And with you're looking at this entire thing without your emotions, and you'll solve things very, very better. You'll approach the world very differently when you've meditated and you're centered.
What's the best way for you to meditate?
I listen to different frequencies, music for me. Yeah, music or kiameti. I've got 2 families that have water totems. So I'm a huge water baby. You'll even see I like baratore. I dress like a mermaid. I love the colors green, blue, purple. Yeah, I resonate with the water. It's either I submerge or I just stand in a river.
Please explain this to me. I love nature, like so much so to a point where I can go to Emerentia Park, Kiliwan, like a camp chair, and Blom, and just have the time of my life. I love Hartis. There's something about me being able to see the water there, and not necessarily me going into the water.
Yes.
I don't want to get into the water. I'm okay with that. Even if I get to the beach, right? I'm okay seeing the water there. And maybe I'll just go there for compliance, wet my feet and have it and then come back. But I just love seeing the water and seeing the nature. What does that say about
You're
me?
grounding yourself.
Oh, okay.
So people who hug trees, they're grounding them. You're grounding yourself. Nature grounds you. It takes out this negative energy from work, negative energy from home, negative energy from things that happen to you, and it grounds you. It's a sort of meditation. You're grounding yourself. It's like the reason why matrasana tsamaka maotofats, they are grounding themselves. They're grounding themselves because the earth is able to these things into itself, and it grounds you. When you're stressed, touch a tree. Well, with time, you'll be able to feel it pulling out these negatives from you. So what you're doing is essentially grounding yourself. You're meditating.
That's actually interesting. All right. Then we're about to wrap it up. Before we wrap it up, is there anything that you'd want to share? Maybe I'm hoping that we've also demystified a lot about it. But any last parting shots?
People should find their authentic voice. We're always looking for someone else to guide. Kiddy motivational speaker, and you're approaching life from someone else's voice, from someone else's perspective. Find your authentic voice. Genuity. Find you. Be genuine in everything that you do. I always just say, my authentic voice and genuine. I love genuine. I want everything that you do to be genuine to you, not someone else, not someone else's interest. By the relationship because they can't be alone, because they can't stand themselves. Find this one. This one. What does this one want? What is this one saying? Always speak with your authentic voice. Always be genuine so that you can attract genuity to you. Genuine friendships, genuine colleagues, genuine work experiences, genuine love interests, genuine family experiences, just genuine life. Life is just better that way. Yeah. Be genuine and find your authentic voice. Take time to be with yourself and hear these things that are trying to communicate with you. Listen. Yeah.
I like that. All right. What is it? Twitter, Facebook handle? Yeah.
On YouTube, I've got a podcast that I just don't have time. I was actually speaking about that, Lukopan. Black Yellow Thoughts. On Spotify, it's also Black Yellow Thoughts, but I haven't taken down the audio to put it onto Spotify. I pray for me. Pray for me. On Twitter, it's it's the_Tatanus. I like to protect my tweets because I'm very controversial, and I've gotten into trouble at work before.
Okay.
I create a Christian organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm coming there with my unorthodox thoughts. So I like to protect, and kids are very influenced. So I like to protect them.
Okay.
On Twitter, the_Tatanus. Facebook is not even something I. Who still goes to the village?
Flame.
So, but yeah, Black Yellow Thoughts. Just go see what I have to say and what I think about things. Yeah.
I like that. Thank you for coming through. It was really awesome.
It was.
And I'm really happy that I managed to close that thing because it's been bugging me, been wanting for you to come on the podcast and share some of your wisdom.
I appreciate you.
That's what's up. All right. Thanks for watching. Do follow, subscribe, like, and don't all of those nice things. Please do that. Also keep podcasts shut.
To be clear, so that I can be able to also hear what you're saying.
What's that happening now?
Oh, yes. Did you want to hear them?
Yes, you should have said, hey, this person is saying like this and that. Yes. We're talking to you like the way you should have told me that.
No.
Huh?
Surprisingly.